Hey, welcome to the ALX Files on at Lex Rants Daily. I think that's what I recently changed it to on YouTube. This is just going to be for me to rant about life and have this not unhealthy version of do the not unhealthy do. You know what I'm saying? Ridge rush, as they call it. Maybe it's unhealthy. Maybe it's worse than do. Who knows? Gotta investigate 9/11 shirt because I'm all about that. Someday I gotta get a better camera. I saw a GoPro online for 15, but I don't know how serious. I was YouTubing back when it wasn't cool. It was like I just played open mics, made videos, made songs, so I put it on YouTube. It was just something to do, but I didn't want to become a streamer or a content creator. And I think it's funny everyone wants to create content, but who is content? That's he who's richest is who's happy. Who's the richest? He who is happy with his lot. But what I'm saying is, I feel like I could make some good content too. And at the end of the day, I watch a lot of YouTubers, so if people get entertainment or the music, whatever, but you gotta put the time in. But I just hate that everyone wants to be a streamer for like these entities. I'd rather have my own website, put these videos on my own website rather than for YouTube, TikTok. All the people, they want to quit their jobs, become this influencer or whatever, but you can be deleted at any time and told what to say pretty much in a way. Whereas if you did own your own stuff, have it on a website. A lot of people are talking about Patreon now. That seems pretty cool because that might be a little bit more independent, and I know it's based off donations, so I might have to get one of those going. Look into that, see if it costs money to start, but don't really have a following here. I'm trying to envision if I were to get some people. I recently started a blog. I went impatient, and that was cool. But maybe I needed it. I said something I didn't really mean. They kind of twisted it. Went into a facility for 6 days, Pembroke Hospital. Not all bad, but it changed my outlook in ways. But now my work situation was already slow. Now it's extra slow, or I'm in between jobs. I guess that's the way to put it. But it's really discouraging, and I already struggle with depression because I can't get a girlfriend, and I always feel like I want to get a girlfriend and stuff. Cats here, and at least I got the cats, and it was horrible being separated from the cats. But I want to someday get a girlfriend. I'm 39, so when I get no likes, no chances online, it does feel like I'm the bottom of the barrel, the guy that no one wants, and that maybe I've messed up a few or had a chance, and maybe even a girl that liked me that was too hung up on someone else, all that crap. And I should be grateful for the situations that come and go, I guess. But sometimes I get down about it, extremely down. Anyone that knows me, I spiral, I kind of obsess. I start thinking, it's always gonna be the same. I tell people about my music, I tell people about my YouTube, tell people about stuff. Seems like I'm off-putting. Like yesterday, I'm always usually like, hey, you want to check out my YouTube, my music, blah, blah, blah. And yesterday I'm at the gas station, and the guy's like, hey, quiet today, huh? Not like you're so, and he was I think he kind of mocking me, or, being like a certain way, because the other dude who works there, who kind of takes me a little more seriously about the art, and I've seen him at the other store, seen him in the neighborhood, also knows I'm kind of psycho, so hey man, this kid's actually crazy, and I don't mean that in a good or bad way. I just mean as an observation that sometimes I lose my grip on reality too much. Maybe not completely either. Maybe if there's a spectrum, and this is all right in the middle would be right here's normal, and full blown psycho over here. Maybe I'm right here. I'm not here, but it seemed almost like he was clowning, and it's aha, and I even said, I just hi, yeah, I'm kind of downward spiraling, I get high highs and low lows, and He's like, yeah, you gotta get out there and shovel, bro. There you go. And it's like, some people might get it more than others. And I take it him as someone, the kid that had his dad in his life, that was more, you know, I want to say normal, but it's also abnormal because probably in some ways toxic, like more quick to put people down because that's what my dad or people do. Yeah, fucking druggy. You know, judging is, once you start to look at judging as like this thing, and then the judgment of judgers is the ultimate thing. It's like almost like they live, you know, we see all this future, but you can't judge people for judging. Like that's the worst way to be, is like in fear of all this. And you know, we all judge. I'm not gonna say I don't judge people, because in some ways your judgments are a saving grace and can help you, guide you if you don't live by them, and you know, if you let them go rather than live in judgment, live observing judgment rather than in full judgment or something. I don't know. Words are tricky, but one thing I recently put on my website, it's Abe Lino 86, ABLINOW 86.github.io, and you'll find a bunch of crazy writings, almost like a manifesto. And you know, whatever happens here, if I ever become a political dissident in ways, you know, I got the shirt here, but I don't think I have much of a platform now. But you know, the bigger your platform goes, it'd be plausible for me to get you know, maybe framed for something, let's just say. I feel like I'm giving myself too much credit and power here too, but let's just, you know, go down all these rabbit holes or potential possibilities. If that were to happen, you know, being transparent, being real, that's what, in my eyes, could save somebody. It can have the people say, wait a second, I know this guy. And maybe you don't know someone from the internet, but if you're uploading daily and writing daily, it at least also defends you after your death, you know, if it's still there and whatever, you know. And it's the ideas that live on. An idea cannot be killed, and my ideas don't really trust anything. Nothing really matters that much. We're material in this material world. That's what I was gonna write about, the modern material world. How like when you're stuck in this like material realist thing, like we're just like my brain, my consciousness is like in my brain, and that's it. It's like easy to think of everything's kind of scary and limited. And I kind of remember thinking as a kid, like in 5th grade, like, man, we're just gonna die and be in the ground, and like then that's it or something. And I don't know, and maybe that is it, but here we get the storm of 2026 upon us, and who knows what this is going to bring. But I feel like I try not to live in fear. I'm not saying I'm fearless, but catch myself living in fear and go, living in fear again. So if we could, like in the past, people of different cultures had spirituality on their side. If we could separate and detach and believe that death wasn't so bad, it would change the things that we do in this realm, you know. People would get out there, and even this guy standing up to ice, it's like, oh man, the way we react to it, you know. I wouldn't say standing up to ice, what do I say? Getting killed by ice for whatever happened, okay? Getting killed by I'd like to say, you know, other like humans, just over nothing really. Because if 100 years from now, they might be like, what was that guy with the camera or whatever, or even the gun? What was he killed for? What was like the cause of all this? And I get it, immigration and all these things, but we could really reform the government and reconstruct things without needing to get in the streets even. We could just do it. But that would maybe require a new system. Either way, the killing, in some ways unnecessary, but it's also not that bad if the guy's soul is going to come back, or it goes back to the oneness, the energy. It doesn't need to make us all like, oh, no. It's for the guy. But anyway, it's how you live, and being detached is a way where you can do that shit. I'm not gonna say I'm super detached, but try to be detached a little bit, I'm into the 4 agreements. 4 agreements, baby. Be impeccable with your word. What? I do that all the time. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best, which I also do all the time. So hopefully this storm, we survive it. I'll give a little glimpse of data. All right, peace.